Thank you all for joining. It's always an honor when folks decide to carve out some time in their busy days to join us for these webinars, whatever the topic might be. Today's topic is essentially what we've done in terms of our product development roadmap for really the bulk of this year. And then what are we planning on doing into 2025? So we call this the Soapbox Fireside Chat. Feel free to snuggle up with whatever warm beverage you've chosen or cold beverage close to the radio here, and we'll go ahead and move through things. I am not FDR as President of the United States with this Fireside Chat. I am Tim Forbes. I'm the VP of Products and Customer Success here at PicNet. I'm also a former nonprofit accidental techie. Prior to my nearly 18-year tenure here at Soapbox, I served a number of different nonprofits in a number of different ways, mostly around technology. So for those of you on the call who are nonprofit folks, I feel you, I feel at one with you, and we're here to serve you. And we're happy to present the details of what that's looked like from a product standpoint of late. So for this fireside chat, we're going to be walking through really 5 points of our agenda. First is just to give an overview of Soapbox Engage and the release process, the update process that we go through as a matter of course. So we want to give you a window into that. And then we're going to jump into some apps that had particular focus for us these last few months and highlight the changes, updates, new functionality, goodies, Easter eggs that we've tucked into the product during that time. Then we'll take a brief look at the rest of the platform and some notable things that were added outside of those 3 apps that we're going to focus on. Then for the 4th item here, we're going to touch on what's next. So just peel back the curtain and let you know a little bit about what we're currently working on, what we plan on delivering really into early next year. And then we'll share some details with you on how you can stay in the know about what we are doing. And some of you may already be doing those things. That's probably why you're on the webinar now, but we want to make sure that you have access to the latest and greatest information when it comes to Soapbox and the Soapbox platform. So in terms of Soapbox Engage and its merry band of updates, as opposed to things that you might be familiar with, like the Salesforce product release schedule that has 3 releases each year, we have a markedly different approach here at Soapbox. We've actually done a total of 137 updates to Soapbox throughout the course of this calendar year in 2024. For those who can do some quick math, that is an average of 2.7 updates per week. What we attempt to do is have small focused releases that introduce things incrementally to the platform, either fixes or brand new features or tweaks. That is the approach that we take. So even with large new functional areas, we try and do that first with a minimum viable product and then iterate on that functionality over time. So that's why we seek to do it this way, so that we can manage the release process better and manage just the change that comes with those releases. Each release that we have is around some theme. Usually it's a specific app that we're targeting for a given release, and the release just has things related to that one app. We also look to make sure that any updates that we make to Soapbox, especially now during the giving season, don't touch the products, particularly the donations app, unless it's an urgent thing or something that's a high priority thing, because we don't want to introduce any surprises into the platform, particularly during the end of year giving season. Now, just as a reminder for those of you on the call, Soapbox as a platform has a bunch of different apps and corollary elements to it. So the main apps that we have are up here at the top: our donations app, our events app, the classes app, which is really just an extension of the events app that adds on semesters, instructors, courses, a number of other elements so that you can have a full course management system. Our forms app that allows you to create front-end forms that push data to Salesforce. Our directories app that allows you to pull data from Salesforce and display it on the front end of your Soapbox Engage site. Our shop e-commerce app, and then our two online advocacy apps. The first is our petitions app that allows you to create essentially a form that folks can come and show their support for by signing your petition. And then our Actions app, which is similar, but takes things a step further and allows folks who sign your form to have those signatures, those messages that they submit go directly to a target that you have selected or multiple targets that you've selected. In addition to those apps, we have several features or other elements that go along with Soapbox. One is our portals service or user integration feature. This allows you to have front-end users log into your Soapbox site and have a fully personalized user experience through that portal. We also have Soapbox packages or connectors that gets installed into Salesforce that allow you to work with the data that Soapbox pushes to Salesforce for the various apps so that it gets routed where Salesforce expects that data to go. We have our Soapbox Mailer app, which is a mass email tool completely native to Salesforce. We have our Soapbox content management system, which is available for folks that want to use Soapbox as their main website and say publish a blog or have just static content that's displayed. And then finally, we have just our server infrastructure, the stuff that actually makes the whole thing run. So we're going to talk through the main updates that we've made the last few months across the platform, and we'll touch on a good number of these items. What we're going to focus on first is 3 apps in particular that have gotten the lion's share of the updates from our product team in the last few months. And those are our donations app, our events app, and our actions app. We'll start with the donations app, and what we'll do in this webinar is list off the items that are worth mentioning here in terms of updates. We'll do that for each of the apps, and then we'll circle back and just do the briefest of overview for each of these different updates. We'll have opportunities in the Stay in the Know section for you to learn more about these various features. So right now it's just an overview to let you know what we've been up to and what's changed in Soapbox. So first off, for the donations app, the main things that we want to call out for the last few months is, number one, we've introduced a pledge payments feature for Salesforce Nonprofit Success Pack. So this is going to be something that is really unique in the sector because it works very intimately with the Nonprofit Success Pack to allow front-end users to log in or not log in and make payments against existing pledges in your Salesforce instance, particularly open opportunities that have open payments to be made. And again, we'll take a look at what each of these things looks like later. Second item here is we introduced the ability to have asynchronous posting of donation transaction data to Salesforce, or what we like to call internally the turbo mode. This is different than the way that Soapbox has pushed data to Salesforce before, in that what will happen is rather than having the data for a given transaction sent to Salesforce right after somebody clicks the donate button and before they are shown the confirmation message, Soapbox will go ahead and put that data in a queue so that the confirmation message will display more quickly, and then it will send that data to Salesforce on a schedule for those elements in the queue. We also just updated Soapbox and the donations app to integrate with Salesforce Nonprofit Cloud. Specifically right now, it integrates one-time donations. We will soon be adding integration with recurring donations. So for those who have chosen to move to Nonprofit Cloud or are considering moving to Nonprofit Cloud, this is available for you all. We also introduced advanced fraud protection, and I believe this is the only item in our updates list that is a new add-on service that comes with a fee if you choose to opt in for this, but it does allow for the ability to defend against carding attacks that might come up. Last item here on the initial list is some various peer-to-peer enhancements. These have to do with the ability to more easily update an avatar for a logged in fundraiser, and some enhancements that we made with our integration with Microsoft Dynamics and the peer-to-peer solution. A few honorable mentions that I wanted to call out here, particularly given the giving season that we're in right now, and the fact that these are cool features, in my humble opinion, that aren't necessarily used as much as could be used by organizations. We have a donations modal pop-ups feature that allows you to more tightly integrate the donations app with your main website. We have a recurring donation upsell option, which allows you to prompt a donor who's in the process of giving a one-time donation to say, hey, do you want to make this a recurring donation? And then the last bit here is the ability to allow a donor to cover the transaction fee as part of any donation that's made. So again, we'll list off these items and then we'll circle back through after each of these apps to just give you a taste of what things look like either on the front end or the back end of Soapbox. Next app that's in focus here is our events app. You'll notice that this list is a bit longer than the donations app. We've had a lot of work that's been put into the events app the last few months, and we're happy to call out a number of those things. The first item is sub-events. This allows for you to create a main or parent event that would be required for somebody when registering, and then required or optional sub-events associated with that parent event. The classic use case for this is, say, a conference that's a weekend-long affair that you have the base parent event, the conference ticket itself that folks need to get, and then maybe there's a host of other events that would be optional for folks to attend, or separate in that you'd want to have, say, a dinner gala or a volunteer event or a golfing outing or other things that might be under the umbrella of that overall weekend event but would really have separate registration elements to it. So that is the first item here. We also have the ability to have group tickets. So if you want the events app to be able to say offer a table of 10, you can set that so that somebody who is registering for a quantity of 1 for a table of 10 gets indeed 10 tickets for the event. Digital wallet integration. This is something that is new. Actually, just this week, we had the second of 2 updates to Soapbox in support of this. What this allows is for folks to add their tickets that they have registered for to either their Apple Wallet or their Google Wallet so that they can just be saved to their phone. We've also introduced ticket access codes. So if you wish, you can have a particular ticket type that is set to hidden and then will only be displayed to a front-end user if they either enter in an access code that you've created and provided so that they can see that ticket, or if that access code is included in the URL that they used to access that event in Soapbox. Next item here is we have a My Event Orders view. This is a significant update that works in conjunction with our portal service so that if you have folks able to log in to the front end of your website, you can display to them a view that shows them all of the event orders that they've placed and allows them to view ticket details, allow them to edit ticket details, allows them to cancel tickets if you want to give them that ability, which feeds right into the next option, which is allowing folks to cancel tickets associated with a given order or cancel an entire order. And that's something that can be made available to logged in users and is also within the administrator. Next item is the ability to exclude a given ticket type from the overall event capacity. This the use case for this would be, say you have a hybrid event where you have a limited capacity for in-person attendance, say 100 people, but then you also are offering virtual tickets that folks are registering for. Within the setup of your Soapbox Events app, you can set that virtual ticket to not have its capacity count against the overall event capacity, because those virtual people don't need to be counted against the 100 seat capacity for your in-person event. We also added some merge fields for our confirmation page and confirmation emails. We added the ability to have a separate administrator notification email. We've improved the display of some of the sales data, ticket sales data in the administrator. And we've also introduced the ability, again, this works with our portal service, to have Soapbox automatically create Soapbox user accounts for people that register for an event. So that's our list of event updates. Last item here in the focus apps that we've got for donations, events, and actions is our actions app. 4 main items that we've updated here. The first 2 are both related to the Who Can Act filter. So within the Actions app, you can have it so that only people who meet a certain criteria based on their address can complete an action. And those had been set to folks in a given state, folks within the United States, folks in a given US House district or state district. We've added to that the ability to filter by county. So you can set it so only folks in a given county or counties can complete the action. And then also filter by municipality. So people only in a given city can complete a given action. The third item here is integration with regulatory.gov. This is a brand new thing that just was released in the last month, which allows you to create targets that are public comment targets. So within the administration, there can be requests for comments about certain items that are posted to regulatory.gov. Soapbox will now allow you to create targets that will send those comments to the administration. Last item here is we've updated the integration that we have with the US Senate. So if somebody's interested in targeting US senators of those who are taking an action, that is now done through a new service that the Hill rolled out that is communicating with Congress. Just a peek at the rest of the items in list form before we jump into a little show and tell. The Classes app, says events up there, but the Classes app now has the ability to display available capacity on the search classes view. We've also added some enhancements to the search classes filter. For the portal service, we've added the ability for administrators to log in as an individual. So you can more easily troubleshoot or act on that individual's behalf. We also added the ability to log in by email, so folks don't necessarily need to remember their password or even create a password to log in to their account. We also went through a major upgrade to the Soapbox infrastructure, which is not particularly sexy, but is extremely beneficial to the ongoing health of the Soapbox network. And we also made it possible that folks who are using Salesforce and GovCloud can integrate Soapbox with their Salesforce instance. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run through just a few glimpses at a number of the items that we listed off here. So we're going to start with the Donations app. And as noted, we've got the Pledge Against Payments functionality. This is a view of a logged in user. It's showing all of the opportunities that are associated with this logged in user and are meeting a filter that an administrator has created to determine which of those opportunities should show and which shouldn't. You're able to see all of those opportunities. You can drill down to an individual opportunity and see the status of payment records for them. And then for any open payment record, you as a logged in user can click Make Payment and go ahead and process payment against that open payment record in Salesforce. This view to make payment is also accessible as a non-logged in user, an anonymous user. So if you as a Salesforce admin wanted to send out a link to, say, this user with a URL that opens this particular payment record from Salesforce, you could do that. So if somebody has a pledge that they've made and you don't even want them to need to log in to Soapbox to pay it, you could use this method to send a link to them. Next item for, we mentioned the asynchronous posting to Salesforce. The ability to turn this on is just as simple as going to the Add Edit Donation view, looking at the integration tab and changing the Enable Asynchronous Posting to Salesforce to be yes, or you could go into the configuration and make the same change there so that it affects all of your donation pages. Anybody who's interested in enabling this, we do recommend that you go ahead and turn this on for an individual form, confirm that it's going to meet your needs, and then you can change the global default if you want. For the Salesforce Nonprofit Cloud integration, we have that as a new section, again, on the integration tab. It's an either or proposition for integration with the standard Salesforce or NPSP versus integration with the Salesforce Nonprofit Cloud. And we've got a number of settings here for records that you can choose when integrating with nonprofit clouds. You can select the campaign, designation, outreach source code. For those honorable mentions that I called out earlier, the donation modal pop-up, we've got an example of that here. This can be triggered by someone clicking a link, say on your main website. You could do that really anywhere on your site that you'd like, and it can open up the modal, which also looks great on mobile devices. Within both the modal experience and the full donation form, we have that recurring donation upsell option. Within the modal view, that's what this looks like here. So we went ahead and had originally decided to give $5 one time. Here, the prompt is saying, hey, why don't you go ahead and give us $5 monthly? And you have control in the administrator to set what that prompt is going to be triggered by and what the suggested amount will be after that. For the cover the transaction fee, again, this is something that's been around for a while, but we wanted to call out given the giving season. You're able to turn this on or off for a given donation page, also a given donation modal that allows folks the option to add a certain percentage that you've identified to their donation. To track back to our events items, here we've got an event that is a parent event and has sub-events. So we've got this very exciting reunion weekends that has its main tickets available for the various options for joining the reunion weekend. And then beyond that, we've got the ability to have a golf tournament or a barbecue ticket or a Sunday brunch. And this allows you to have completely different ticket types, completely different questions, custom questions for attendees within this sub-event experience. For group tickets, we've got an example here of the ability to say, hey, for a silver sponsorship, we want to get one quantity of a silver sponsorship, but that gives us 10 tickets for our table of 10. For the digital wallet integration, this is an example of after registering, if you enable this for the confirmation page, you'll get these two buttons that allow you to add to Google Wallet or Apple Wallet. The same thing can be true for the confirmation email or the My Event Orders page, which we've got right here, where if I'm logged in as a user and I have made orders for different events, I'll be able to see them here. I'll be able to click through to see the details of the tickets that I have. I can click through to see each individual ticket. And I can also, if given the ability by an administrator, cancel the order, or I can send a link to an individual that I want to use this ticket, and they'd be able to access that link and edits the information that is associated with that ticket. So they could give their name, their email address. For the access code, you're able to create an access code just like you can with a promo code. You can open it up here and identify which ticket will be able to be accessed after the use of this. And that can be done as long as you have set the tickets to hidden. The ability to exclude an event from capacity can be done just by ticking this box. And that will allow folks to register for tickets that aren't counted against the overall event capacity. Just a couple more things to call out here For the Actions app, we noted a few items. The main ones here for who can act. If you want to filter by municipality, you can do that just by selecting that option, choosing a state, and then typing in the city or municipality that you want to filter by. And then if you choose county, it's the same process. You choose the state, and you can type in the county. For regulatory.gov, you're able to go ahead and open up the public comment targets area. You can create a new public comment target using information that you can glean from regulatory.gov based on what you're looking to comment on, and then include that as a target within a given action. And then finally, for those other items that we took a peek at, here's an example of how you can show availability for a given search classes view. So you can see how many spots are available in a given class. We've got the login by email option for those that have our portal service that goes alongside our ability to have single sign-on with Salesforce or Okta, or really any service that uses that's single sign-on capable. And then the last item that we want to call out here is, as an administrator, if I go to a given user record and I've enabled this for my account, I can click login as user and then be sent to the front end where I can see what that logged in user sees. All right. So just to wrap up here. So what's next? We've got a ton of releases, updates that are going through our pipeline, and a bunch more that we've got on our roadmap for what we're looking to tackle. Some notable things to call out that will be coming in the next few weeks into early 2025, really Q1 of 2025. For the donations app, we're looking to further extend our integration with Nonprofit Cloud to include recurring donations, both initial recurring and subsequent recurring, to send that data to Salesforce with the Nonprofit Cloud data model. We're also looking at making a major updates to the donations app that will support gift premiums. So the classic example of this is somebody donates $25 and you want to give them the option to select a tote bag or a mug. That will be something that is coming to the donations app. For actions, we've got a bunch of updates to the actions app. We're going to be extending that functionality by integrating with some new services to move off of some that we currently integrate with that are being deprecated, specifically a version of Google Civic that Actions currently uses. We're going to be updating to move off of that and extend functionality for the Actions app to be used in the future. We've also got some updates in events that includes enhancements to the digital wallet functionality. We're actually going to add the ability to have push notifications from Soapbox to somebody's digital wallet. So if a ticket gets canceled, that update is made within their actual Google or Apple wallet. We're going to extend advanced fraud protection from just donations to the events app. We're looking to cover the transaction fee to the events app as it is for donations. And then we're also going to make an integration between the events app and our donations peer-to-peer service. So if somebody wants to have an event that folks register for, and also have as part of that event registration, the ability for somebody to create a peer-to-peer donation form all in a seamless process. We'll be adding that to Soapbox. And then this last item here is our Forms app is going to get an update that will add some enhancements to the conditional logic that is there currently. That's it for what we're looking to do, at least the main highlights that I wanted to call out for you all. In terms of what you can do to make sure you know the latest and greatest, what's up with Soapbox, you can subscribe to our monthly newsletter. You can attend webinars like this. The next webinar that we have is this Thursday, and it's going to be a deeper dive into the pledged payments functionality that we looked at just briefly a moment ago. You can also check out the community announcements that we post at support.picnet.net. You can both just go to the site to check those out, or if you want, you can subscribe to get updates to those. You can follow us on the Salesforce Trailblazer community. We're always posting content there. And then you can also, if you're a partner for Soapbox Engage, you can request a demo org so that you can play around in your essentially your own sandbox to see the items that we've added to Soapbox. You need not remember all of these things that I just noted, because we'll be sending a follow-up email after this webinar with links to each of these things so that you can access those. And that is the dime tour of what's been up with Soapbox. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, we appreciate you spending this time, and happy Soapboxing. Take care.